welcome to the Hungry Aggie, where I will be teaching college students that they can eat really well and make really good food, and it's a lot cheaper than eating out. So let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to be making today is beer battered chicken and French fries. Now there are several benefits to eating at home. One of them is that you know exactly what's going into your food. The other one is that it's a heck of a lot cheaper, and I'm going to show you just how cheap it is. First, let's go over the ingredients. It's all really simple stuff that you can get at your grocery store, and it's cheaper than if you went out and eat out. First, we've got boneless, skinless breast tenders. Now, you can save some money and buy the chicken breasts whole and then cut them up yourselves, or if you want to be a little lazy, you can just pay a little bit more and buy them already cut into nice, tender-sized strips. This entire thing was $6.95 for 2 pounds of chicken. We need, of course, some flour for the batter, a beer, which I, of course, chose Dos Equis because I like that a lot. Every college student should probably have one of these around. Now, you can use other varieties. I would suggest a light or pale beer. I guess if you want to go really cheap, you could probably go with Keystone, I guess, or something along those lines. But I prefer Dos Equis because it's not crap. Lowry seasoned salt. This stuff, I live by it. It's cheap. It's salt with a bunch of other different spices. It's fantastic. And just to add a little kick of heat, we add some cayenne pepper. And for the French fries, of course, we just have a big sack of potatoes. This is about 5 pounds. It costs $2.67, which is what a large order of French fries will cost you at McDonald's. And this will make you a lot more French fries than a large order of fries at McDonald's. And we will be deep frying all this in just regular old vegetable oil. First thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to start heating the oil in our deep fat fryer. We want to turn it to about 400 degrees to make sure that it gets a nice crispiness to the outside. So we turn the deep fryer on, and then we open up the oil just because it needs a little bit more, and add that sucker in. Now, while that starts heating up, we're going to be cutting our potatoes. Now, I already got one potato cut up. Let me show you how exactly I went about getting these nice strips just like that. So what you're going to want to do first is you're going to grab your potato and you're going to cut it in half along the vertical, just like that. So that gives you 2 nice halves of potatoes. You can set them down like that and they won't roll around everywhere. Now you're going to want to make sure to cut them thick, but not too thick. If you make them too thick, they'll come out really soft, almost like mashed potatoes. So you want to make them thick enough so that they don't burn, but you don't want to make them too thick to the point where they won't cook thoroughly all the way through. So probably about 1/3 of an inch thick should be good. Right, like that. Now you see, you get them like these wedges, just like that, and that's a little too big for a French fry. So what you're going to want to do is that you're just going to set it like that and then just cut it in half. Each one of those wedges. Boom. Have it like that. This one also. Now, as you notice, I like to leave the skins on. The skins add a nice earthy texture and taste to the potato. So you can peel the skin off if you want. I personally like the skin on, and so do most people that I've made these French fries for. So it's all a personal choice. If you think the potato skins are kind of gross, peel them off. That's up to you. Just make sure that if you choose to leave the skins on, that you wash them first and then rinse them off or dry them off to remove any excess moisture. But there you go. Now they're all chopped up and they are ready to go into the frying pan or into the deep fat fryer. Okay, so the little light has come off, meaning that the oil has reached the set temperature that I put it on, which is 400 degrees. So I'm going to lift the basket out of the oil and set it there. And I'm going to slowly start putting all the French fries in. So this is about 2 potatoes, so we should be able to get all of it on one go. Just put them all in there. And now once they're all in there, just dip it slowly so that you don't get any splashing. Perfect. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our beer batter. So we're first going to put in some flour, just very plain, any old flour, all-purpose flour. Make sure to get a good amount because we've got a lot of chicken there. That ought to do it. And now we add the beer. Now, the amount of beer that you add is really just depending on how much flour you put in. It's kind of, honestly, kind of by eye. You just kind of put enough in until it's nice, and you don't want it too runny, but you also don't want it too thick because you are trying to coat this chicken. Make sure to mix it well because you don't want any clumps of dry flour in there. That's not good. That is perfect. Now, once you've got the batter ready, you're going to want to add your other spices to it. So I'm going to add just a little bit of cayenne. You can do that, to your tasting. Make sure, if you're not a big fan of spice, don't add too much. If you're into spicy food, you can add as much as you want. I personally am not a huge fan of spicy food, so I don't add a terrible amount, but it also gives the batter a good color. So make sure to add some. Now we're going to add Lowry's. Make sure to add a good amount of this stuff because you want the batter to have some flavor. Since you're coating your chicken. So good amount added there. Make sure just to whisk it in. The Lowry's also adds some good coloring to the batter. So we're just going to get some salt. Normal salt. And pepper. I like to freshly cracked pepper is always better. Now all that's left to do is to start dipping the chicken into the batter. So we're just going to grab one strip and throw it in. Throw a couple strips in there all at once. Make sure they get nice and in there. Don't be worried to get your fingers messy. Cooking is a very hands-on thing, so you're going to get your fingers messy. Just make sure to have a sink nearby in order to wash your hands off. So the fries are just about done. So we're just going to give them a nice little shake there, kind of loose, dislodge any of the fries that might have gotten stuck at the bottom of the basket. Now that the fries have been given a chance to adequately, lose any excess oil that are on them, we will dump them into here and let them cool for a few minutes before we are done with them. Now, when you first grab one chicken piece, make sure to dip your fingers deep into the batter because what you're about to do requires that. So make sure to get any excess chicken batter off. And now you're going to want to dip it in there. You're going to want to run it a few times through the oil like this. This will kind of help it from sticking to the bottom. And don't worry about getting your fingers too close because the batter that is on your fingers will actually help protect your fingers from getting burned by the oil if you get a little too close. So it's a win-win for everyone. And look at that, they're perfectly floating there. Now you can wash off your fingers a little bit while those cook. Now there's no real time technique to this. You want to just fry them until they become a nice golden brown color. In fact, you might want to lower the temperature a little bit to ensure that the outside doesn't burn, waiting for the inside to cook thoroughly. So just drop that temperature to about 350 degrees and you should be golden. Now you also want to make sure not to overcrowd the oil or the basket because if you do, then the chickens will start getting stuck to one another and once again the batter will start coming off. You also don't want to overcrowd it because since the chicken is cold compared to the oil, it drops the temperature of the oil drastically. And that makes for uneven cooking, so that's not good. So you want to make sure to just put a few pieces in at a time. It takes a little bit longer, but your effort and your patience will be rewarded. So now this batch is ready to come out. So we're going to just let the excess fat drain from there. And we're going to get some tongs here. We don't want to pick these up with our fingers yet. And we're just going to put them on, see how they got a little bit stuck there? There we go, come undone. I'm just going to put them on a paper plate that has some paper towels on it just to drain any of that excess fat off. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Now, while the next batch of chicken is getting made, I'm going to toss these French fries, give them a nice little, make them a little bit more gourmet. I'm going to toss them with this Lowry seasoned salt. Just coat them lightly once they've cooled a little bit. You don't want them too hot when you do this. And I'm also going to toss them with a big block of Parmesan cheese. So I'm just going to get my grater here, and I'm going to just cut some nice little ribbons of Parmesan into the fries here. Make them a little bit more gourmet. It's just a nice little touch. Doesn't do much, just makes them look fancy. Also adds a nice little taste to it, a nice little nuttiness from the Parmesan. So now we're just going to toss these really easy. Perfect. Just give them a try. Fantastic. Now we're just going to go ahead and plate this really simply. We're just going to grab our fries. Just grab a nice big handful for yourself. However many you want. That's the beauty of fries. Put them there. And we're going to grab our chicken strips as well. These look absolutely gorgeous. Put them right there. And then I always like to serve my fries and my beer battered chicken. I like to make my own little sauce. It's a simple mixture of mayonnaise and ketchup. So I'm going to show you how to make that right now. Now this sauce is very simple. Like I said, it's just ketchup and mayo. All you do is you add a nice squirt of ketchup. Nice big squirt of ketchup. And then you can put some mayonnaise. Now I like to use this olive oil mayo. It has half the fat as regular mayonnaise does, and it only has about 35 calories, so it's very, very good for you. So we're just gonna grab a nice little dollop there. You want to make the ratio about 2 to 1 with the ketchup to mayonnaise. You don't want too much mayonnaise, but you want enough just to give it a nice pink color. The tanginess of the ketchup mixes really well with the sweetness of the mayonnaise. So there it's a little too red. You might want to add a little bit of mayonnaise to that. That's exactly what we're going to do right now. Grab a little bit more. Comes a nice pink color. Just like that. Beautiful. Now we're going to want to grab our plate and add the mayo ketchup mixture. And there you have it. A beautiful, simple beer battered chicken. So there you have it. Here are my delicious beer battered chicken strips with homemade French fries. They are absolutely fantastic. They're very easy to make. So good luck to you. Anyone should be able to do it. Cheers. That's really good. This is the Hungry Aggie, signing off.